So Julie, we're talking about loans here and a creative way of doing what's called recasting.
Yes, this is a kind of a more, it's a revolutionary way of making your payments back. And there are very few lenders that will allow us to do that. But let me give you an example. I had a fellow just this last week that we closed a loan on, and he was able to keep his existing home and is going to sell that in the future. So he needed to borrow a certain amount of money, and we're going to let this sand represent that. And he structured this for a 30-year payment.
It's got to pay back the interest.
Yeah, for him it was a $400,000 loan.
Okay.
And then when we put principal and interest together and put that into a 30-year mold, the cast of this mold, and I'm using that word because that's what we're doing is going to recast it.
Okay.
So we've got the percentage and the years, and this is how much he's going to pay back. And you take a little bit of a slice, and every month you're going to pay back an amount. And his payment's going to be this much every month.
Principal and interest.
Yeah, and his example was about $1,900. Well, he thinks he's going to have that home sold, and he's going to have about $250,000 that he could pay off of this mortgage. So you are allowed to go ahead and pay against principal anytime you want, but most loans will keep your current payment this same amount, no matter if you've paid it off low. So we know that this is representing principal and interest, so I'm going to pour off some of the interest, which would be savings that he's incurred from not having to use that money, and he's going to pay this big amount of money back. So
they're going to restructure the loan based
So
on the
now-
lower amount that's owed now.
yeah, he only owes this much money now. So before we took this amount and we cut it into 360 months and he's paying it off in 2048, well, if we still have this as he's paying it in 2048, we've got, for instance, he pays it 10 months later. He's got 350 payments, and we're going to make lower payment, and now his monthly payment is about like this. For him, it would have actually been $763. So it's like he had that money right from the get-go because he wanted ultimately to have his payment right where it is. His principal and interest was less than $800. But for a short time, he's going to be paying $1,900.
Yeah.
And he had benefit of that full amount of money before he received this windfall. This recasting, you need to know about it in advance. There are only certain lenders that allow you to do it. They're going to have an administrative fee between $200 to $500, and you're going to have to meet certain parameters that you've been timely. You're at least giving a $10,000 principal reduction. There's not a limit on that. So if you think you're going to have a client that, if anyone's got that asset that they're going to cash in later, inheritance, or selling off another home, we can still structure the loan and they can recast it to a lower pay later if they'd like to.